huge fixture for MK Dons tomorrow away against Oldham Athletic. Let's jump into the preview. Now, Friday's draw against Barrow means that MK Dons are now winless in our last 3 games, with just one draw that we're actually taking in those 3 games, but nonetheless we are still 2 points clear in the race for automatic promotion heading into the final 5 games of the season. Now, for me, this is a game that we do need to try and win if we are to avoid falling out of the top 3 at such a crucial stage in the season. You know, especially when you consider the fact that Salford City, obviously managed by former Dons boss Carl Robinson, are in red hot form with 7 wins in the last 9, and actually the only team to so far win 23 league games this season, and also with the fact that Notts County and Cambridge United, in my opinion, having what look like winnable fixtures on paper against Newport County and Cheltenham Town respectively. And yeah, you know, I just feel like we have to make sure we do everything we can to return to winning ways tomorrow. I really do feel that, really. Going on to Oldham Athletic, their win against Culture United on Friday was their 6th win in 7 and 9th in 11. In those 11 games, they've scored 22 league goals, and actually they've scored 23 in their last 12, so, you know, they're in pretty good form at the moment, and actually with just one defeat in this spell, the Latics, they come into this game just 1 point off the top 7, and they've got games in hand as well. They played less games than all the teams apart from Cambridge United, who are above Chesterfield in 7th, so, you know, they've got a real good chance here. And yeah, Mickey Mellon's Latics, we need to consider the fact that they are unbeaten at home since January the 31st, when they lost 3-0 at home to Cambridge United, and since then, in their subsequent 6 home games, they've actually won 5 of them and drawn just once. And yeah, I just feel like they're definitely going to be up for this game, and I feel like this is a must-win for them as well as MK Dons, as Oldham seek to enter and actually eventually try and win the playoffs as well. It's going to be a must-win game for them, so we need to, defensively, we must be at our best. I'm absolutely going to feel this way, you know, defensively. It is absolutely vital that we don't let Oldham Athletic continue their free scoring spree, really. You know, I do feel like defensively on Friday we were better than we were against Barnet and Salford City. Admittedly, I do feel like Barrow did turn up not to lose that game and didn't have as many chances as other teams probably would have had, but I do feel like, you know, a second clean sheet in 4 games will hopefully provide the team with a boost against the Oldham Athletic side, who very, very recently kept 8 clean sheets in 9 games. And yeah, you know, it's not going to be a walk in the park when you consider that. I'm going to say that we need to definitely be playing much better in attack as well, you know, because I think their defence is going to be up for it, and they're going to be up for trying to keep another clean sheet against the top scorers in League 2. You know, we may be the League 2 top scorers, but in the last 3 games we've only scored 1 goal, and, you know, despite our chances that we've had on Friday and in other games, that 1 goal has actually come from a goalkeeper mistake as well. That was obviously against Barnet when John Millis capitalised in order to head the ball into the nets early on. And, you know, we can score multiple goals in a game, as we have done at different points in the season, but it can only really take you so far, because if you think about it, whether you score 1 goal or 5 goals to win a game, you know, whether you win 1-0 or 5-0, at the same time you're only going to get 3 points for doing so. You know, a win's a win regardless of how many goals you score, how many goals you beat the opposition by. And while we have had some very good results this season, we absolutely need to regain our confident strike force for the last 5 games. And, you know, the player that I want to talk about now is Nathaniel Mendes-Lang. I feel like hopefully he can be the one to help us do this. I feel like when he came on Friday, he definitely really impressed me. I feel like he brought on some energy that we'd been waiting for in that game. And I said this in the review, I definitely want to start Nathaniel Mendes-Lang tomorrow. I definitely hope Paul Bourne starts him. You know, I thought he was our best attacking player on Friday, and I just feel like now that he's recovered from his injury, and given that he actually had quite a good start to the season as well, with 7 goals in 17 games, I just feel like maybe him and Callum Patterson and or Aaron Collins just feel like those players on the pitch at the same time, just feel like maybe they could help generate some good attacking chemistry together, which will help us to be more clinical and help us to hopefully get over the line over the last 5 games, really. I just feel like he could be a secret missing ingredient now, as well as Callum Patterson, to help us get over that line. And another player who I hope starts tomorrow, I know I said this again in the review video when I was analysing the Barrow draw, is Aaron Amain. I hope he starts tomorrow, because when he replaced John Mellish, I definitely feel like his passing quality was a lot better. And with our attempts to actually try and successfully cross the ball being as right now unsuccessful as they have been over the last couple of weeks, and being as difficult as it currently is to watch right now, in addition to Aaron Amain starting, I wouldn't even be averse to giving players like Joe Tomlinson more game time, or even, I'm going to say it's going to sound controversial, but even Jonathan Lecco more of an opportunity, because, I know it sounds controversial, but if you think about it, I don't think those players, especially Jonathan Lecco, who I know divides a bit of opinion here, if I'm going to put it a bit lightly, I just don't feel like these players can't really do much worse at crossing the ball than some of the first team are currently doing. If you think about it, against Barnet we didn't have a successful cross really in the first half. If I look back against Barrow, there's very little crossing that I actually saw being successful, and that in itself might sound a bit generous here. I just feel like we might as well try and shake it up a little bit, give some of the fringe players a chance and see if they can help improve, because I don't think right now the crossing from the first team players who we're seeing regularly start is up to par. And if we are going to be successful in our bid to get promoted to League One, this is something that we're going to have to improve on if we are going to especially make sure that we don't drop off the automatic promotion places. So yeah, I would not mind those players starting if they can do better than some of the other players. I'm going to say it now. I think it's worth it personally. I haven't lost the plot as I say that. But yeah, I just really ultimately I just pray we can return to winning ways tomorrow. That's the main aim. It's not going to be easy against a good Oldham Athletic side who are gunning for back-to-back promotions, but hopefully we can get that extra gear going and do it. Hopefully, as I say, Nathaniel Mendes and Callum Patterson can be the ones to help take us through to that extra gear. And just a point I want to make here. We do usually seem to do well against Oldham Athletic whenever we've won their penultimate fixture between the two sides earlier in the season. I know that's usually the first fixture, but obviously this season we won in the FA Cup after drawing the opening game, and in the previous 4 seasons where we've won the penultimate, obviously the first fixture between ourselves and Oldham Athletic, we did go on to win the last fixture between the two sides. And ultimately the reason I bring that point up is that I look at the character and what we've done in order to win those games. It's just obviously what I want to see tomorrow. That's ultimately what it comes down to. I just hope we can do the same thing tomorrow and just get back to winning ways. I just want us to dig deep, give everything we've got, and really just go for it. And hopefully by the time I'm making the review in tomorrow, we're just celebrating a vital win and a vital 3 points. Really, that's ultimately how I feel. Guys, if you are still watching, if you've agreed with what I've said and you haven't already done so, please make sure to subscribe to my channel and to share the video. It really does help me out. Thank you so much for watching this far as well. It is incredibly appreciated. As I say, hopefully we've come to the end of it now and we can start returning to winning ways tomorrow. I know it's not going to be easy, but I think if we give everything we've got and play to the best of our ability, then hopefully we'll be in with a chance. Anyway, that wraps it up. Thank you so much for watching. Up the Dons.